8,435 pounds, big old 4-slide Rockwood, kind of pretend park model just coming in here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. One owner, barely used, and that's the only reason it's here. They were local folks, lived just across the state line from Michigan into northern Indiana, and the only reason it's here, guys, is because they weren't using it. So they said, well, it's silly to hold on to this thing any longer, I suppose. That means basically new camper to use, price tag for you, and guys, it might still qualify for same as new financing pending a few things. This is a good opportunity right here. Now usually you get something like this with slides all over the place, a big old kitchen countertop, and trying to access anything in transit is about impossible. However, this one, actually, they did a pretty good job, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of a motorhome, the way that you can snake through here. Now, it gets a little close. It gets a little tight. I'm not going to tell you it's like a walk in the park, but you're also not necessarily having to climb over anything. You've always got just enough room that you can sneak between everything. If you want to get to the fridge, if you want to get to the sink, if you want to get to the bulk of like your personal like bedroom or bathroom storage, if you want to get to the bathroom, which is right in here in transit, you might have to take a sideways step here and there. But, you know, the more you explore this thing, the more you realize, really, its travel accessibility is not too bad. Now, this is an 80-inch long residential bed, and you are going to lose a couple inches of it under that wardrobe closet there when it is closed up. But if you just really got to stop and rub the sleep out of your eyes, you can actually do a pretty good job of getting through here. I'm impressed. Now, there are not many of these big, expansive, like opposing slide, front living entertainment beauties out there anymore. It's a concept that very few brands have been able to achieve successfully, with Rockwood being one of the very few. The whole thing in here is like, this is way bigger. Like, it's going to be called a Rockwood Signature Ultralite. That's the name of the product. This is a big RV for sure, but you figure 8,435 pounds for something this size, that is pretty manageable. The other thing here is that it is big. This has a 6'9" wall height, plus it has a 2.5-inch vault on that laminated ceiling. So it has some very big, expansive feels, and being a Rockwood, you've got those nice luxury look and feel type features here. Now, what's cool about things like this, when you get these opposing slides and these opposing sofas, is it makes it a great couples camper, but you also have some pretty excellent guest capacity as well. Because we have not one, but two of these trifold hide-to-bed sofas. Now, the L-shaped sort of what I like to call nap and couch lounge over here, this one is definitely more of a single-person sleeper. I guess if you had two small grandkids, they could fit in there, but it would be tight even for them. But it's a comfortable one-adult sleeper, for sure. It's long enough that even a big fellow like me would be just fine on it. And then opposed to it here, we have more of a traditional two-person hide-to-bed. But what's also great is you notice that you can walk between them, and no one ever gets, like, pinched in between the sofas. But more than just sleeping, the primary purpose of this floor plan is comfortable living and entertainment, and it has it in spades. Lots of windows, lots of light, tall ceiling, big open expansive feel, all the windows open for airflow, dual section day and night shades, you know, that really good upscale classy feeling. And like, if you look all around the entertainment center, you see how no nook or cranny was spared, no matter how big or small. They used every little ounce of space they could for storage. They squeezed every ounce of juice out of that one right there. Electric space heating, what we call a fireplace, but really just a space heater, so you don't need to burn up your propane. You see how the TV is just barely sticking up from behind that. This has a power up-down TV. So if you do want to enjoy that front windshield, and you want to get, and I love how they put the big windows on the sides of the slide so you have just excellent forward visibility in an RV, which is just a rare quality, really. You know, if like you have a site that looks out at the lake or something, this floor plan's awesome. I've always felt, as soon as I looked at this one, I went, oh, it's a Rockwood Lake House. Like, that's what my brain said immediately. From what I understand, most people have bought this one, have used it for pretty much exactly that. This is this has been park kept, by the way. This hasn't been towed and drug around. The previous owner from northern Indiana bought it, had it parked at a campground right here in Coldwater, Michigan. So this thing has had, I don't know, maybe 200 miles on the tires in its lifetime. That's all that's ever really been on this thing. So it's always been park kept, so it hasn't been towed and bounced down the road. It hasn't been, you know, stressed or anything like that. Over here in the kitchen living super slide, kind of an interesting combination they came up with, but Rockwood's always found a way to do things a little different. You'll notice, you know, full overhead storage above the sofa. You'll also notice nice hidden hinge cabinetry. Everything in this is really sharp and upscale. These are maple hardwood cabinet doors, raised panel hardwood cabinet doors throughout. And in addition to those nicer hidden hinge cabinets down here, like below the countertop line, and this is all a you know, solid surface, by the way. Another thing that you might notice is like all of our drawers here, they're a residential sort of soft close variety, and they even, you know, gave you a drawer below the oven, so they just never wasted anything in here. The refrigerator in this is an odd size. I'm trying to remember. I believe it's some goofy number, like a 9 cubic foot refrigerator. It's not the general size fridge that you tend to see on a day-to-day basis in the RV business. And one of the reasons they were able to put it in here is because of Rockwood's taller ceiling in this, you know, considering compared to most Ultralites, they were able to have taller slide outs, which meant a bigger refrigerator. And in something like this that is, again, a pseudo park model, it is technically towable, but I think most of the time if you're buying a camper like this, it's because you have intentions on leaving it parked somewhere. You're going to enjoy all that extra storage you can possibly get. And being gas and electric, if the RV loses power while you're gone, no big deal. It'll kick over to gas mode. Now, both sink covers are present. I just have one set up there out of the way because I want to be able to demonstrate that you have flush mount sink covers as well as a recessed stainless sink down here and a handy place for a little wastebasket right below. This kitchen's also good for appliance outlets. I've noticed there's good appliance outlets here, there, and everywhere. Now, kind of like the front seating area, your dining seating arrangement right here has just windows galore, windows all around, and it's cool because it kind of makes for like a private sort of hallway entry to your entry door between these two slides. It's a little different, but a little neat. Now, one of the things people ask all the time when you have slides like this that are deep slides, because these are full 3-foot deep slides under the awning, is doesn't that eat up my patio space? And the answer is, of course, a little bit, but Rockwood put 2 awnings on the side of this thing. So you have one awning kind of dedicated to your slides and your entryway, so you have like a private patio entryway in a sense, and then there's a second awning behind this back here next to your outside kitchen entertainment area. That's where you're going to have your picnic table and everything. So they really kind of thought of everything on this one, I think. Now, as long as we're talking storage, the hallway here, this is an area that's really hard for me to get like good still photos, so it's one of the areas I really wanted to come through with a video camera to kind of sweep through so you could see it. This would be your pantry space right here. Now, this blank wall down below, this is your outside kitchen. So this above it is just bonus storage space above the outside kitchen. You often see things like this done in the RV business above an outside kitchen in a rear bathroom camper. This is really kind of the same thing here, just in the hallway. And you don't tend to see big, deep hallway storage like this anymore in the RV business. But I think maybe Rockwood, with many, many years of experience, they kind of remembered, hey, there's a neat thing we can do here that people are going to really like and appreciate. Now, an extra tall ceiling and a vaulted ceiling and the skylight means you're going to have to be, you know, a point guard in the NBA to ever worry about hitting your head in that thing. This is beyond tall person friendly. If you've been shopping around, you're looking for a high-class RV, but you're tired of always ducking in the bathroom or something like that, well, your search is over. You can take home this one and you're going to be fine. Good legroom in here, porcelain foot flush stool, and that is a stone cast bathroom sink right there. Extra deep, made for adult hands, which is nice. And I like the extra little kick counter space over here, so you can keep that thing clutter-free, which is one of the reasons why they give you things like the little toothbrush holder, the little towel ring there, and a bigger Max Air vent fan complete with roof vent cover straight from the factory. And you might notice it is nice and light in here, well lit. Rockwoods are very good at using a lot of high-intensity lighting. I was actually a little surprised to see a queen bed back here. This is king capable, however. If you remove these little side stands, you could easily put a 70 by 80 king, but as it stands, this is a 60 by 80 queen. The benefit there is we gain extra walk-around room around the bed. So both types of beds have their own advantages. It really just depends on what you are looking for and what you are seeking. A little bit of extra storage above the bed, and of course those cross breeze windows. Previous owner did an excellent job of adding a TV on the back wall here. This is a 50 amp service coach. It has a single 15,000 BTU central air conditioner. However, that vent right there does have wiring run to it. If you do choose to, and we have the facilities here to do this for you at Haylett RV, you could add a second air conditioner to this camper. And depending on what your situation is, like if you're a finance customer, it's something we can actually potentially roll into a finance quote for you. So keep little things like that in mind. Also, that being said, anytime you can keep something out of your RV financing, I do recommend you do so, but, you know, you choose your path to your purchase. Don't let someone else do that for you. Now, what they do here I really like, because this has just terrific dresser storage space down here, and with great hanging storage as well. But they do it without making the rear wall of the RV a closet, which gives you a rear wall window, and it actually helps keep the RV a little bit shorter. Just absolutely firing on all cylinders here. Now, she's too darn new to have any sort of, like, you know, problems due to neglect or lack of care. Again, the RV in a lot of ways is virtually new. Now, virtually new means technically used, of course, but they only stayed it in a couple nights. Right up front, down in this little area here, there is a little side mount solar prep plug. So if you are going to have it parked off grid, you want to keep your batteries topped off, it's an easy way to do that. That is a front windshield, by the way, which is different from a window. It's a higher grade of glass. One of the questions people have sometimes is, you know, can't a stone flung from a tire smash that thing and cause problems? And the answer is, theoretically, sure, but it'd be no different than the windshield of your own vehicle. And especially as high as it is, that's hard for that to happen. Not impossible, but hard. It's also not impossible for you to be flying down the road and have a stone hit your windshield, you know? Now, full nose cap, and it is painted, by the way. And then you see down here, they have like a spray-on bedliner style stone guard, so that this thing doesn't, you know, get any kind of lower chips where stones are more likely to be flung. This is an all aluminum skeleton. You have laminated roof, walls, slides. You have a tongue and groove plywood floor with 2x3 aluminum studs set every 12 inches on center, running longitudinally on the trailer. It is a lightweight yet really rugged method of construction that they put into these. It also has an enclosed belly with 12-volt tank heaters, which is kind of cool. The sidewall windows will be frameless to give you that sleek look. Your slide wall windows will slide open for airflow, because if you had a tilt open frameless window and close the slide, obviously you can see how that would pose some sort of problem. Something that's just really weird. I was surprised when they did this. I think they were just trying something different here on an oddball, goofy model. Is they made the underbed storage accessible from the sides, not from the face of the slide. And it works just fine. But remember that you definitely have to keep those baggage doors closed when you close the slide out. But I think that's why they did not put a holdback right here. They could have put like a little magnet holdback or something that still could have wiped in and out with the slide, but they wanted to make sure that you always had this closed. Now, that being said, we've got sealed hinges. We've got the nicer magnet or slam latches here, the metal ones at that. And if you are going to tow it, what is nice is it'll tow nicely on Rockwood's 4-wheel independent suspension system here. But once again, almost no miles put on either the tires, the chassis, the running gear, the suspension, any of that. Spare tires never seen the light of day. It is ready for a backup camera, although once again, with this being more of a park-friendly camper, I don't foresee a lot of people actually putting a camera on the back of it. We will use that ladder to go up to the roof in just a minute, but before we get there, I wanted to take a look at the outside kitchen and patio area of this RV, because once again, when you have big slides sticking out on the door side, functional awning space becomes a concern for any reasonable shopper. And good awning space is something this one has in spades, thanks to the fact that they didn't try to just make one awning work on this. That's not what Rockwood does. Rockwood is a very feature-sensitive brand. They're not really price-sensitive. You know, it's kind of a situation where they build the RV they want to build, and it costs what it costs. And that has made them the #1 selling laminated trailer for I don't even know how many years. I think more years than I've even been in this business. The fact that, you know, they're like, this is what works. This is what people are going to want, and everyone seems to agree. Now, there is full-length LED lighting under both of those awnings. Now, back here, this is, again, going to be our primary sort of, like, patio table space. Now, you've got a full outside kitchen situation going on over here with these galvanized rolled steel countertops. Like this one swings open to get to your cooktop, or you can just leave it shut if you don't want it there. Or you can use it like prep space. You have a real sink with a real drain into a holding tank, and you do have the larger outside kitchen fridge here. So this is what's nice. Between the inside and outside refrigerators, you have something like 13 or 14 cubic foot of cold storage in this RV. That's pretty dang good. That is respectable stuff right there. And if you choose, you can actually mount a TV outside and an extra outside grill here, so you can have like meat and sides going at the same time. Now, obviously you've got two awnings, but with a full-size outside kitchen, you've actually got like another layer of coverage right here. These awning arms, by the way, they are tilt and lock awning arms, so if you do want to put them on a bit of an angle to get some drizzly day runoff, you can do that as well. Something I haven't talked about, and I should have. Here's a good example. This has a really high gloss wall to it, and you can see that there's no weathering, no fade, no degradation of the skin. Again, this RV is not here because it was someone's problem. It was here because they just weren't using it. That's the only reason this thing's here. So let's take a trip up to the roof and put a cherry on top of this sundae. And wouldn't you know it, it looks just about as good today as the day it was first built. No sign of damage where like a tree branch fell or something like that. There's nothing hidden, nothing scary up here. All the seals and everything look good. Here's that max air vent cover I told you about above the bathroom vent. Everything up here looks sharp. Awnings look good. I don't see any sort of damage up here on anything like that. Everything looks good, guys. The only problem with this RV is it's in my driveway and not yours. So give our team here at Haylett RV a call. See what this thing would run. You know, and whether you're, you know, wanting to cash out, finance, whatever works for you. If you need hitching pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, you want this delivered, we do everything here at Haylett RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.